Hey, it's Kayla, just interrupting the podcast before we start to say that I am resuming production on another podcast of mine called This Is Your Life Path, which is a interview podcast where I interview TTRPG creators about all of their inspirations and influences outside of games. We had a one-off special episode as part of Zine Month. There's the whole first pilot season you can listen back to, so stay tuned for that. But also, if you listen to the latest one-off special, it includes more details about applications for being a guest, if that's something you'd be interested in. Anyway, back to Game Soup. Bye!
Welcome to Game Soup. It's the game design podcast where we throw ideas in a pot and see what's cooking. I'm Chloe Montgomery.
And I'm Kayla Dice, alive and well.
Yeah, it only took half an hour getting your computer to restart itself, but...
It's I don't know, it's been really... I think there's something up with it. I do need to run, like, a search on it to see if I have accidentally picked up a virus or something. Just because I'm like, it's a new computer, but it's been chugging a lot. Like, I did an interview for Ritual Magic for Besties recently, and, like... The first 10 minutes of it were fucked by tech issues, and I don't usually have tech issues because I'm plugged in. But yeah, my computer was in poor health, I was in poor health.
You had all sorts of things wrong with you.
Damn, wow. That's
more
fair.
than the usual.
Yeah, more than the usual, did you just say?
Yeah, I did.
Wow. How are you? Are you in good health?
I'm okay. I'm a bit sniffly and I'm very sleepy, but... I'm normally quite sleepy, but this is, like, extraordinarily sleepy, so...
How's your...
I haven't taken my tablets. That might be the...
So I don't know if I should air you out that much on the air.
Well, let's just get into games.
Let's get into games. We've done our magic fun, but we're going back to the Large Hadron Collider of words today.
Yeah. Well, my word is cassette.
Cassette? Ooh.
Yeah, like a tape.
This is a fun thing, because the word I have, hound.
Hound.
Because the thing is, the option I get with the random word generator is it does let me break down the words a bit, like I can choose place names, I can cut adjectives. So I actually often go for just verbs, but I like verbs which also can be nouns, which is why I like hound. So we have cassette hound.
So it's a Pokemon-style RPG on Xbox Game Pass, available now.
Oh, I think we might get some notices from our legal department there. Yeah, I feel like with cassette we do have to have music. We could go for music. It's a battle of the bands, but
we go into the furry camp too often.
Do you think we do? I feel we've not gone to the furry camp much.
Last episode I edited, you were like, we go to Furryland too often for people who are not furries.
Oh, yeah. Actually, no, that's to be fair. Though I think then we disagreed because we were like, actually, we go to anthropomorphic animals a lot. We don't actually go to furries a lot. Whereas I think cassette hounds, I think this is where we go to furries.
I'm thinking it's like a found footage horror, but it's not footage, it's just like a recorded audio. And... there's hounds after us somehow.
Maybe then in that case, it's not a solo game, but not quite a multiplayer game. I feel like maybe we do something in a semi-LARP space, where like you get sort of instructions and maybe like an oracle or whatever for you going around, walking in street, like doing some like fucking... And then there's a game which involves, like, all of those players gathering these things. And maybe piecing together, like, some kind of overarching story, even though you all just, like, responded to the stimulus of what was around you.
Yeah, it's an ARG that self-generates.
It's a what?
It's a self-generating ARG.
Yeah, I think it is, like, you have to come up with, like... basically you create a bunch of clues of audio logs, and then you have to be like, as a group, collectively, once you're out of the solo place, you know, these audio logs, they weren't recorded by you, they were recorded by the characters, and you're now this extra set of characters who are having to, like, write what strings these together. And you can't go back and change or edit any of the audio logs, obviously, because they were made, I don't know, weeks ago or whatever. So you've just got to figure out, like, what is the bit of connection that can you use together? This is like you come onto a mystery box story in the 4th season and you've got to figure out all of the evocative bullshit that other people put together.
I like it. I think, like, there's probably, like, a public Discord so you can, like, get together with people you don't know. So it's, like, happening across the country, maybe? Or is it just, like, with your local group?
I think you could do either. I reckon, like, if I made this game, which I don't think I would. If I made this game and, like, released the book which has all the tools for it, I'd be like, yeah, you can totally do it on this, on your own Discord with your own friends. But I think I'd also be doing, I'd make a Discord for this. I'd make a new one where I'd just be running semi-constant games. But I don't think that would necessarily be a nature of the game. I think that's just a way I would go approach, like, gotta make sure this is content and support.
Yeah. I like the idea for, like, the higher Kickstarter tiers, you would also, like, send them, like, a cassette that you recorded to, like, start their play. Yeah.
I like the idea then also this big wild Discord, there's, like, the thing of, like, you can play these games with your friends who have all done their own, like... I guess it's the thing of it's half the solo semi-LARP game where you walk around, you record notes. We'd have some sort of guidance for that. Like, maybe... I was initially going to say maybe the prompts are, like, if you see this, then series of questions or stuff.
Yeah.
And so it's, like, you're not rolling dice or drawing cards or anything. The prompts are, like, things you can see in the real world, which means you get a very different fucking suburbia versus, like, a city country.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the basic things of, like, record a message about this if you see 5 cars. Like, for some people, that's super easy. For other people, it's not. I think, so, like, you get that. I'm going even further. This is now a box set. Where, like, the solo, like, self-arg bit, the recording bit, is its own little mini-zine, which you take and go as you do it. And then you have another mini-zine. We're gathering all of the clues together and piecing this story together.
Yeah, so maybe, like, you have separate players. Like, with this Discord idea, like, maybe you are recording all the little cassettes for another group who put together the ARG, while you are also ARGing another group's cassettes.
Yeah,
you're never doing it for yourself.
So in this case, it's less like you gather all of the audio logs everyone made. It's more one person has made a bunch of audio logs for your...
Yeah, and we've just made Bioshock.
I mean, I think this is the thing we are doing. Like, I think this game idea is a semi-LARP space around making video game audio logs, but then having to stitch them together. I think that's fun. Other than, like, I guess, like, the fact of hounding and discovering things, do we need to make this more dog-like?
No, I think there's just, in the pick list, there's, like, there is a dog following you. Like, just this sort of thing, and it's like, wait, what's this dog? Is this dog relevant?
Maybe we always suggest there is a dog that everyone is following, but no one can see.
Yeah. It's like always in the corner of your eye or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we lead into, like, I don't know, you know, like, fucking, like, old spooky English folklore, like, black dog stuff?
Yeah, the Grimm, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I think we go in with a bit of that, and that's, like, our anchor story. I feel like we've been really nebulous about what this is about, but I think that is kind of the point, because...
Well, we don't know. The players make it up.
Yeah, the players make a lot of it up, but also the starting point of, like, the evocative hints you're giving to players, like, that's the writing, and we don't do the writing on this podcast, so I think it's fine with Vague.
Yeah. I think it's kind of in an Alice is Missing sort of space.
It's very Alice is Missing. I was thinking of that as well as video games, but, like, separated out in the sense of, like, yeah, that recording. I like the idea of you do it for another group, one person will do it for you, Yeah, it's fun. I think if I was more into LARP, by which I mean if I had any knowledge of LARP, but if I tried to do it now, I feel it would be me, like, fiddling in a space which I don't actually understand.
Yeah. Same. But, like,
yeah.
I know the idea of the game.
Yeah.
I could write it if I really wanted to, but...
Yeah. I say that's solid.
I think it's called
honestly, I'd call this game Cassette Hounds.
Yeah.
Also, we said we'd stop naming games. We said we'd stop naming games because it kills the episode.
If a name springs to you, it's fine.
Yeah, I don't have one, honestly. Like, nothing clean.
Yeah, Cassette Hounds or Audio Logs. Or Audio Dogs. I don't know.
Audio Dogs. Audio Dogs. Okay, we back to the random word generator?
Yes. I'm gonna refresh. Okay.
I'm getting...
Okay, my word is headquarters.
I was going to go stronghold. Stronghold headquarters is too difficult, so I'm going to refresh the world. No, sorry.
It's okay, I'll cut this out.
Yeah, cut out the bit where
so I notice.
Yeah. I'm just going to...
and if that's left in, shout out.
I'm taking out places because...
Hi, Holmesy.
Headquarters leak. I did have on the list and decided not to do it. Condom was an option. I decided not to make us make the condom game. Headquarters leak.
Is that leak as in the vegetable or leak as in a water?
They spelt different. It's escaping leak.
Which one was
I
it?
feel this is it's something leaking out like water or information, which may fit with the if it's headquarters.
Yeah.
Is it about you leaking? What kind of headquarters is this?
I think it's like a spy headquarters, like an MI5 sort of building. In my head, it's a hidden role game about you've got to get... It's like a hidden role LARP game. We're going all LARP this episode. You've got to get information and put it in a place in the room without anybody noticing it, but you've got to get that information from other players.
Okay.
And you have to write stuff down, but then other people also have to write stuff down and put it into this information pile. And you win by... Like, the leaker wins by sneaking all their information out of the pile, maybe?
Yes. But also... Maybe there's a thing as well that other people can also try and give out fake information. And if the leaker leaks that, you've caught them. Like...
Yeah, Colin Rooney style.
Yeah. This feels both fun, but also hard to figure out what it works like mechanically.
I think, like, each player is given, like, a card of, you are Inspector Fitzgerald. You know this, this, and this. Go. And you've got to try and work out who the leaker is by giving out this information. Or by not giving out this information. You've got to write... Your card has, like, you have to write down 3 bits of information from other players and put them into the pile. And take out 1 piece of information from the pile. So that it's not just... As soon as you see somebody taking something out of the pile, you know it's the leaker.
Yeah. I guess maybe this thing, anytime a bit of information is written down, it does have to go somewhere. It's just that the leaker has the opportunity to put it out, like, in public, I guess. I almost wonder if this game would be easier to write if we weren't leaking for a spy organization. Like, maybe, this is going to sound strange, maybe it would be easier if the beat was, like, you're like a film company. You're like Warner Bros. Or Disney, and you're just leaking, like, secrets or spoilers or bad information or stuff.
I think that's probably funnier, rather than super serious spies.
Yeah, I guess it also prevents us having to do, like, you're trying to leak about murders. Like, just you're trying to leak about, like, this film's test scores are bad. You're trying to leak this actor is a prick. You're not
trying to leak
back
that
this dead character, or whatever.
You're not trying to leak that England has been doing war crimes.
Yeah.
You are not Chelsea Handler. You are Coyote versus Acme or whatever.
Yeah, you are leaking the fact that, like, the executive didn't watch this. You're leaking the fact of, oh, this actor turned down our company or stuff. I also feel like then it's maybe easy because you can, for coming up with information, like, yeah, players can probably make stuff up, but also if they are, like, stuck, they can report her.
Yeah. Also, I just want to correct myself. I said Chelsea Handler, who I think is a television presenter. I meant Chelsea Manning.
I didn't catch that. Different people. Yeah. Notably different people.
Turns out.
But yeah, I feel like that takes us out of the possibilities of grim space.
Yes, absolutely. I think this is done. It's cooked.
Yeah, it's another thing where it would be all in the writing of prompts of how we're getting stories or stuff. I'm trying to think if there's a fun leaks thing. I guess, to be honest, you'd probably call the game...
Yeah, spoiler alert or something.
Spoiler alert, yeah, spoiler alert, definitely.
Or the spoiler.
The spoiler!
Because you're spoiling things.
We're only a bit over the 15-minute mark, so we should go again.
Yeah,
I want to say the word first this time.
Go ahead.
Squash.
Squash. I've got drive.
Drive. Squash. Oh, no. Is this a crazy taxi simulator? I mean, like, squash can mean lots of different things. Like, squash, you know,
You've got to desperately get your Robinsons.
Dilute
before the shop closes.
There's, like, a literal crushing. But there's also, like, a metaphorical crushing, you know? Squashing beef.
Squashing beef? You mean, like, what do you mean?
Like, as in, like, you know, bury the hatchet. Squash the beef. Or, you know, in wrestling, wrestling, there's a concept of a squash match, which is just where, like, a match is, like, just, like, a really instant loss for one person, just because it's to make another person look good.
Right. I think... Well, how does this match with driving? Is it, like... I don't know.
Driving? Maybe in my mind now, because it's put me in the mind of wrestling. I'm like, maybe we just try and do, like, a wrestlified driving game?
Yeah, it's you work down at the illegal speedway, TM, and you have to make the new up-and-comer and rookie look like the hot shit. So you constantly get beat by every up-and-coming rookie with a streak in his hair and an off the runway sort of car. That isn't anything special. It's not been modded or anything. So you've got to somehow work out how to balance your cred as being worth beating, but also being able to be beaten by every new rookie.
Yeah, I like this. So we're doing this kind of speed racing thing where there's kayfabe. Let's imagine it's like an equivalent of early wrestling where it's like not many people know it's all fake. I think maybe the thing here is it is like a game with like a dice rolling mechanic. But it's like you're trying to aim in the middle. Like, it's not a thing where you want to beat the score loads. Like, I don't know, if we assume it's a 2d6 and there's however many you have access to, it's a thing of, like, you don't want to fail constantly because then no one gives a shit about you. But also you don't want to get, like, too high a roll because that's you winning.
Then you're not playing the rookies.
In the plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it is more about, like... I guess it's a lot about, like, managing or controlling your bonuses. Or, like, trying to set up situations where you're rolling that, like, your odds aren't that great here. Someone else is gonna beat you in this way.
My head stuck onto the idea where it's sort of like curling with your dice. And you're trying to, like, get them as close to the center as possible, but you also, like, want to get big rolls on them, and if you hit other dice, then something fucks up.
Maybe in that case, though, this should all be d20s, because you can kind of roll them a bit easier.
Yeah.
So this is a game with a bunch of d20s and no other dice.
I think you have, like, 2 d6s goalposts.
Yeah, and it is all in the sort of curling mechanic, which is often about the individual. That's maybe, like, the big numbers and stuff for the macro picture of a race, but then, like, the specific rolls relate to, you gotta have 2 colours of D20s as well, which is the worst bit. Yeah. This is such you need to have a bunch of dice, and this game cannot work online. We have made a mechanic too complicated to be easily replicated.
Who can play this? Dice Goblins and Magic the Gathering players. Because they have spin down dice.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's a lot about, like, rolling there and getting closer is often about deciding who wins, but also your individual score determines stuff about, like, how good everyone looked. And so maybe you get back after a race and being like, yeah, they won, which was the intention, but you made them look like shit. Why did you do that?
Yeah, you drove them off the road.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, you, like, botched the race in a way that they still won, but, like, it really made it look lucky. They frequently looked amateurish because they got, like, a fucking 4 and you scored, and your dice rolls were all over 10.
Yeah.
You average your dice results. We're doing mathematical averages. Gonna make a mechanic that is so unpleasant. I think this is actually fun. Yeah. I think this could be fun, but, like, it is such a... The only way of making this, like, playable online is if you hire someone to program something.
Oh, God. You have to buy a D&D Beyond account so that you can roll their little virtual dice across your character sheet.
Yeah, or we just need to write up an entirely alternative set of rules where it's like, this is how you can play this over a game. You're not getting the mechanic at all.
There's only one way to play it.
Yeah, no half measures, fair. So yeah, and then also I guess we have a bunch of tables in this book giving people, like, weird gimmicks. It's a bit wacky races, I guess.
No, I think this is like Fast and Furious. Everyone's like the Drift King and Tony Delgado, the Italian speedster, and
I think maybe it's partway between that. Like, I think things can be serious, but also everyone really does have a gimmick that can be summed up in a sentence. No one's just like, oh, they're a really good racer. It's like, oh, yeah no, they're like, you know, they're the Skull Maestro. You don't be messing with the Skull Maestro. Do you think we have more to do on that?
No. I don't want to think more about that.
I think the thing is, we've got, like, this complicated mechanic that would be figured out. That's, like, the big way we're doing it. We have an idea of the vibe. What kind of art would there be for this?
I think it's, like, super serious, like, 90s anime, like, Initial D style stuff. Like, screen caps from a fake anime that doesn't exist.
One of my partners plays, like, a game involving, like, painting up Hot Wheel cars to turn into minis, and I think did something that was an Initial D. Yeah, painted a car from Initial D.
That's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like anime style. What game is it? Gaslands.
Yeah. Gaslands. See, that's cool, like using non-just Soldier Man's minis. I've always wanted to, like, have a game where you use your plushies as your minis somehow.
Do we want to figure this out? Because I reckon we've got, like...
We've got enough there, but...
Yeah. We've got enough content, but also we could go a bit longer if you wanted to figure out plushie minis. I guess the problem here is I have never... Yeah, I've never played a game with minis. Find it a bit difficult to actually get my head around.
Damn. It's basically just so you have a reminder of how far away from a guy you are, so you know if your bow and arrow has disadvantage. It's like, do you need to know if they're 60 foot away, or do you just need to know if they're near or far? Like, how many turns do I have to use to move up to hit them with a sword?
Yeah.
The minis does the maths for you.
So, Stuffy Mini would be also about
I
maths?
think it's like a Toy Story thing where, like, you are playing as your Stuffy, your plushie, whatever. And I don't know what the game is, but maybe you're just doing Toy Story adventures in your house with your guys. And it's belonging outside belonging, ?
But yeah, you are using it to map, I guess. Like, that makes sense, though. I guess the only thing is, like, outside belonging elements with tokens, is this meaningfully distinct as a game from the concept of just playing with.
That's why I added the rules. That's why I said belonging outside belonging.
And it's a bit belonging outside belonging, I promise.
Yeah.
It's got mechanics, it's a game.
We're not just making my Pikmin kiss your Moomin.
Whoa. There's maybe some... Yeah. I like the idea of the adventure. I mean, that is obviously what we initially approached with what became Mouse Quest.
Yeah, I could see selling this at a con, though. Like, I would have my little plushies at the table, and then someone would be like, why do you have a Moomin here? It's like, oh, Moomin's here to advertise Plushie Town. It's a game where you play as your plushies at the table. And Blauhai is there. And
wait, did you know? Is that not a hard J at the end? I guess it makes
no.
sense.
Alyssa swears it's Blauhai and not Blahaj.
Wild stuff. You learn something new every day.
Blauhai, yeah.
Blauhai. Ooh, I'm now. This is another. I feel we are close enough that I won't go into another game, but I want to tease this and then maybe come back to it on our next recording.
Okay, go ahead.
A game you have to play in IKEA.
Fuck it. Let's just go for it.
Thank you for listening to... Oh, right. Okay.
No, thank you for listening to Game Soup.
Thank you for listening to Game Soup.